In 2018, I decided to make a short film. There was a little contest where anyone could submit an idea, and we would pick out one winner to turn that person's scenario into a film. Eventually, in April 2019, we started shooting, and since this was such a strong community project, we shared a lot of the behind the scenes and kept you guys in the loop. Until everything was filmed, and the editing started. It's now May 2020, and you guys haven't heard any update for a year. There have been problems, so let's talk about that short film. When I initially announced that we were planning to make a short film, I talked about my negatives, and I was so convinced that I would not make the same mistakes anymore. And my mistake is that I always end up doing projects that are way too big, out of my reach. I always feel empowered before every project, whether that is a short film or a simple presentation that I have to give. I always want to take it to the next level, involve many people, and create something that hasn't been created before, like blow the mind of the audience. Has that ever worked for me? Honestly, no. And as stupid as I am, I will continue doing this. In 10 years, I will probably still making that same mistake. The short film that we produced has been the biggest project that I've ever worked on, or at least that I was in charge of. Sounds pretty damn cool, but to me, it isn't. Like every time, I had great ideas, so I started the pre-production. Every day I was driving around, making phone calls, writing emails, just to make sure that all of my ideas could be fulfilled. I couldn't handle the project alone, which is obvious, but to make it go the way that I want to, I had to involve a lot of people. And without realizing, eventually I wasn't making the short film. I was running around, checking with everyone, trying to make the production work. So yeah, that was my role. I was the producer. The project had become so big that I didn't get a role in any of the creative departments. I tried to give my feedback and thoughts during the production, but it always felt like being that annoying producer who shouldn't tell the creative department what to do. The week before we started shooting was pure chaos in my mind. I was not enjoying it. And the crazy thing is that at that moment, I thought that I was creating some amazing memories. But when I think of that week now, I can only think about pure stress. Luckily, it did get better when we actually started shooting, and we definitely had some great moments. But after we filmed everything, the weeks after felt like a relief. It's finally over. And that feeling is wrong. It tells you that the project, those great ideas you had in mind, weren't as successful than you initially thought they would be. And there's no one to blame other than myself for that. I told everyone that I was gonna do the editing. At least that gives me some creative role in this production. And the edit itself was done fairly quickly. I mean, there currently is an edit of the film. It only has no color grading, visual effects, sound design, or anything of that. It's just the edit itself. But for some reason, I just left it there. Whenever someone asks me how the short film is going, I would say, don't have time at the moment. I've put it on hold and I will pick it up very soon. And it's been a year now. The longer it takes, the guiltier that I feel towards you and everyone involved. But at the same time, I also lose more and more interest in finishing that project. And I realize now that it's because of this connection with the film. It feels like I'm editing someone else's film. Does that mean it's a bad film? No. Or at least I don't think so. It's not gonna blow you off your chair like some people might have expectations for, but it's also not bad. A lot of the outcome now relies on the editing. For a couple of weeks now, I've been going through the edit of the short film again, and I've decided to start working on the visual effects, like music and that sort of stuff. Things that you actually do on the very end of an edit. But for some reason, it does make me feel better. Like for instance, I created this intro title, and as it transitions out, I put this hidden message in it where one of the characters would change and it says VR, which is what the story is about. And I just think that because if I created that title, I feel more connected to that part. I feel energized to work further on such details. A stupid title. So slowly I've been going shot by shot, trying to find ways how I can tell a story through simple VFX or music or whatever. And slowly I'm getting more and more feeling with the short film. So that's definitely positive. Anyways, to answer that question that you all have, when will the short film be released? Well, I don't want to make any promises anymore, so I don't know. I'm going to aim for the summer, but don't take my word for it. When the edit is closing, I will definitely publish an accurate date, but as long as I'm struggling with myself, I don't want to make any promises anymore. So yeah, that was it. I'm really sorry, guys, for letting you down. This is my negative, which I'm still in the process with to learn how to deal with that, I guess. Anyways, the least that I can do is give you guys a trailer. Enjoy.
VR has had a major breakthrough. Tech giant Alvarez reports that Dr. Nancy Spungen has come up with Neuro Remapping. No longer will you be watching virtual reality, you'll be experiencing it like it's your own memory.
Shut up!
You'll regret what you've done to me.